My name is Nick Wooster, and I tell everyone that I'm a free agent, which is just, I guess, a funny way of saying I'm a freelance consultant. With sincere apologies to Patrick McDonald, who was the original dandy. They have assigned me the character of the dandy, so I hope I don't disappoint Patrick. Well, I mean, I think more than anything, he makes very striking images, and I hope that, my contribution to this, because I don't really think of myself as a goth person per se, but I like to think that together we sort of figured out a way to make me fit into the story of Gorey. The thing that's so funny about Midnight Toker is it's been 30 years since I've had a toke, and 10 years since I've had a cigarette. But I think it's because of the fact that I was such a smoker. I still love smoky essences, and I feel like Midnight Toker captures a little bit of my youth in my old age. I mean, I was such a night person when I was younger, and now I'm not, but I like the idea that something like a smell could take you back to a time, and I feel like this does that. I mean, I like fragrance at night. I feel like when you are going out, you're sort of not completely dressed until you put something on. And I think this would be a beautiful thing to wear at night in LA, in New York, in Paris. So I'm never dressed unless I have a jacket on. And then I would say I'm never dressed unless I'm wearing some fragrance. I think fragrance is such a personal thing. It's hard to say who I would give this to. But I do have a friend, Jessica, in New York, who probably would appreciate it for all the same reasons I do. She's not a nighttime person either now at this stage of life, but I think she would probably really enjoy this. So, I mean, this person is definitely wearing black. They're definitely wearing black, and they're definitely adventurous. And their favorite dessert is probably sticky toffee pudding. So I love Bloodberry because it's because it's a little bit sweet and a little bit bitter, and that's exactly how I like to think I am. I like things that smell like fruit and vegetation, and that's one of the things that attracted me to this scent first, is the sort of the green and the nasty. It's nice. Well, Bloodberry, in my opinion, could actually be a daytime fragrance, something that I think you might wear in the afternoon, maybe if you're meeting someone for tea or to go shopping. I still think it's hard to do fragrance first thing in the morning, but I really like the idea of something in the afternoon. And living in LA, I go out. I don't usually go out. I go to the gym in the morning, early in the morning. Then I come home and take a shower. But then when I run out, maybe spray a little something to have, just to sort of, let the other person know that you care. And then, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love Christmas? I mean, even goths love Christmas. And I think that the thing is, Christmas is all about the smell. And, when I was a kid, we always had real Christmas trees. I hated it when my mom started to get fake trees. But there's nothing like the smell of pine in your house. And I feel like O Tannenbaum totally captures that. I feel like all emotions are heightened at the end of the year, end of the season, end of the month, end of the whatever. And Christmas is certainly that. And so it can be charged because of family, it can be charged because of anticipation, but there's always a charge that happens around Christmas time. And when I was a kid, I used to be always sick on Christmas Day because I was so excited that I would always throw up on Christmas. But it wasn't a bad thing. It was just that I would get so wound up. Like sometimes you like having a reminder of the winter and the summer, or Christmas in June, Christmas in July, just because. It's like a little bit, I mean, that's kind of like my approach to getting dressed, is I like things that don't go together. So I like the idea of something that smells like the winter in the summer. I like to have a candle or incense going most times. I like it when people say, oh, it smells nice in here. Even the day the housekeeper comes, it's got to smell clean. Yeah, I mean, I think a heretic is someone who doesn't follow rules, or at least if they understand the rules, wants to blow them up. And I feel like I kind of do that. I try to do that. I probably have done that all of my life to my detriment, but that's just how I'm built. Strangeness is a necessary ingredient in beauty. I think I think it means exactly that things are not interesting or things are not beautiful unless they're a little bit off. Things that are too perfect are not interesting, ultimately not very satisfying, and I feel like when things are off, then that's when it starts to get your attention. Yeah, I mean, I think a smudge can be beautiful on a glass or on a coffee table or, a mirror. I certainly agree with tarnish. I think, a little bit, I have I keep my Advil in this kind of glass cylinder that has a sterling top, and it is so tarnished, and I polish it maybe once a year, and and then I enjoy it when it's shiny and new. I don't use stainless steel, I only use silver, and I like to see, and I sort of like know the progression of how it's going to go, and then it's like, okay, I got to polish this stuff. But I feel like, being off is being on. Remember the book of Lifesavers? I was always like, what? At this stage of my life, it always makes me sad when people give me gifts that so it's better to give me nothing. And spend the money on yourself. That would actually make me feel better. Amateur's night out, I try to go to bed by 10.
Perfect.
I like them. I mean, I always think, the two best times of the year are, January 1. I think it's always good to take a little stock and sort of think about something. But I also think, I'm not Jewish, but the Jewish New Year, which is really the school year, the beginning of September is the time to also sort of like recharge, rethink. I mean, I still think of the year as starting like school. So September and January are always times when I think it's good to think about planning ahead. Blitzen. I'm sure that I do, but here's the thing. I always love Christmas music when it starts in October, and by the time December rolls around,
you're done.
Yeah, I'm done. Oh my God, the gingerbread man, I'm just gonna eat his feet. Not returning emails. I mean, I end up going to my brother's, my brother and his wife have two boys. They live in Tampa, Florida. So I go there for Christmas, and it's kind of a tradition. My dad and his wife will join, so that's like the time of the year that I see them. It's nice. I mean, anything pine, pine, juniper, clove. I always feel like, I used to love making, what do they call, pomenders or whatever, the oranges that you would stick cloves in, and that smell, I love that.